turns pressure into power. Friends, there's more to our lives than we know or we have planned. The truly invaluable and marvelous aspects of our identity and our ultimate destiny for our lives are sometimes displayed to us and comes to full realization during the painful crushing of our fruits. Our latest crop of fruits was merely part of an ongoing greater process. What we may consider to be the worst moments of our lives could actually be the turning point and triumphal moments. Remember, the Master can use our life's deepest heartaches and most devastating disappointments for our good and for His glory. Friends, I am convinced God can use the weight of crushing disappointments to create the best and most choice wine if we will allow Him to. Thank you. As we ponder on those words, I keep my eyes to the door, expecting in any moment that it will open up. And so I want to put on cue the lady who has to sing, and now the door opens. I believe it will be the arrival of Her Excellency Dame Cecile La Grenada, Governor General of Grenada, Carriacou, and P.T. Martinique. Upon arrival, we will all stand and then we will sing the national anthem. So our lead singer for the national anthem, we invite. Here comes our Governor General. Thank you all very much as I invite Ms. Shelley and Duncan to lead us in the anthem.
Please stand at attention for the national anthem. Hail, Grenada, land of ours, we pledge ourselves to thee. Heads, hearts, and hands in unity to reach our destiny, ever conscious of God, being proud of our heritage, may we with faith and courage aspire, build, advance as one people, one family. God bless our nation.
Thank you very much, Michelle. As one people will aspire, build, and advance. I'd now like to invite to the podium Pastor Adrian Banfield as he would lead us in a word of prayer.
Good morning, all. Moses, the great leader of the children of Israel that brought them out of bondage, wrote these words in Psalm 90. Teach us to number our days, O Lord, that we may gain wisdom. That we may gain wisdom. Father in heaven, this morning, thank you for your presence with us, because in your word you said you will never leave us nor forsake us. You'll be ever present. We asked, Almighty God, as a sovereign ruler of the universe, that the affairs of this day would be conducted in a manner which is pleasing to you. We thank you for the many years that the Right Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell served this nation of Grenada. We thank you for his cabinet that worked assiduously with him through those years. And now, O Lord, it seemed fit that he would be an opposition. We ask, Lord, that you'll grant him favor and wisdom to perform at his very best, Lord, that this island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique will lack nothing. Let wisdom prevail, Almighty God. And let the peace of God rule over this nation, that the affairs of this nation might be conducted in a manner that would be acceptable to you. And these things we ask, Lord, in the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Banfield. Everyone may have their seat. Thank you very much. Her Excellency Dame Cecile La Grenade, Governor General of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Parliamentary Representative-elect and former Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Keith Mitchell. Parliamentary Representative-elect for the Tongue of St. George, Mr. Peter David. Parliamentary Representative-elect for St. Mark's, Ms. Clarice Modest Cowing. Parliamentary-elect for the constituency of St. Andrews Northeast, Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. Parliamentary Representative-elect for the constituency of St. Andrews Northwest, Delma Thomas. Parliamentary Representative-elect, constituency of St. Andrews Southeast, Emmeline Pierre. Former parliamentarians, members of the clergy and other religious bodies, executive members of the New National Party, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, friends all, at home and in the diaspora, welcome. But to formally and properly welcome you to this morning's activity, I will invite a young lady, talented to Miss Serena Hankey, to specially invite us all.
Her Excellency Dame Cecile La Grenade, Governor General of Grenada, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, political leader of the New National Party and elected representative for the constituency of St. George Northwest, other elected constituency representatives, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to the swearing-in ceremony of the opposition leader of the Parliament of Grenada. Every few years, the citizens of the state of Grenada engage in an exercise that is the hallmark of all great and legitimate democracies. They set their hands to the pages of history to determine the architects of their nation's future. Today, we are here as a result of this exercise, which saw the changing of the guard with the election of a new team to govern this country. We congratulate the new Mitchell-led government and pray for wisdom and discernment as its members undertake the assignment of their lives. However, it is an assignment that cannot be executed in isolation from the voices of the minority, who still have a stake in their country's future and a vested interest in seeing their government succeed. We are here today to endow the representatives of these voices with the power to advocate not only their constituents' behalf, but on behalf of all citizens. It is indeed the interest of all citizens to reign in unbridled power and to ensure that good governance is achieved through the application of checks and balances. This is the role of the people's elected opposition. It is as important a role as the elected cabinet and is salient for the preservation of our democracy. As we witness their matriculation today, we wish for the members of the opposition renewed vigor, conviction, and insightfulness as they embark on this important role and continue to work towards the advancement of our beloved country. Thank you and welcome.
That was our dear sister, Miss Hankey, for you. Of course, the role of the opposition is very important and necessary for the balance in democracy. Now, of course, for many of us, we may want to believe that we no longer have an important role to play. But I just want to tell you something about a former, very religious gentleman named Brother John. Brother John was a very optimistic individual. He would never miss a church service. He would never miss an important activity. And whenever Brother John is given some sad news, Brother John would always respond, "It could have been worse." Brother John, there was an accident this morning and 2 people died. He said, "Oh my God, that's bad, but it could have been worse." Brother John, you heard about the fire and so many. He said, "That's bad, but it could have been worse." So the people in the congregation felt something has to be wrong with Brother John. So they decided they'd find a way to get Brother John to stop. So he attended church the following Sunday morning. And the first sister met him and she said, "Brother John, I had a very, very strange dream last night." She said, "Brother John, you know, I dreamt you died and you went to hell." Brother John said, that is bad, but it could have been worse. A second sister said the same thing to Brother John. She said, coincidentally, Brother John, that's what I dreamt. He said, my God, that's bad, but it could have been worse. So they said, Brother John, what could be worse than you dying and going to hell? He said, well, it was only a dream. It's not the reality. So my friends, we are not dead. It's only a dream. The reality is now at this time we are going to witness the swinging of the leader of Her Majesty's opposition, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. So we shall witness the process.
Office of the leader of the opposition without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of Grenada. So help me God.
So we now invite the leader of Her Majesty's opposition to address you.
Thank you, Brother Chairman, and of course, the man who has led us through this entire campaign, of course, and the General Secretary of our beloved institution, the new National Party. Parliamentary representatives elect, my brother and sisters. Pastor Banfield, thank you this morning for a special word of prayer. Your Excellency, Dave Cecil Lagunard, who gave me that instrument a short while ago. That instrument that I didn't expect to have to take today. Executive members of our special party, members of the media, and of course we'll take a few questions afterwards from you. Distinguished brothers and sisters, all of this beautiful country of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimani. First of all, let me thank all of you for coming here today to this important swearing-in ceremony that is about the institution of governance of our beautiful country. Your presence here today is clearly a demonstration of your support for the democratic process of this beautiful country of ours. It is with both an honor and gratitude that I have accepted the mantle to lead the opposition and the parliament of this country for the immediate period. Consistent with Section 66 of the Constitution of this country. However, as the current political leader of the new National Party, I do not intend to hold this position beyond the party's next convention. But let me add, the process of the next convention should be orderly and timely, and no one will push the party to do what he or she wants. Let it be very clear. I will remain committed to representing the people of Northwest St. George's. Who have elected me for the last 38 years with 5 more years to go. That is 43 years. A lot of people die between 43 years. To the people of Northwest St. George's, our love affair is one for all times. You have stood by me in the darkest of hours. And I will be forever grateful and indebted to you So I want you to know I ain't going anywhere. I will never be able to forget 1990 when I talk about the darkest period of my political life. Had it not been the people of Northwest St. George's, and probably let's extend the people of St. Mark's, I will not have been standing here today. Sisters and brothers, I see my role and that of my other 5 colleagues as crucial in upholding the tenets of our democracy and promoting good governance at this crucial juncture in our history. Once again, Grenada was able to hold free and fair elections. And in my view, and I hopefully all of us, the results have reflected the present will of the people of this beautiful country of ours. After 2 consecutive 15-seat sweeps by one party, the principles of democracy has remained sacrosanct to the point that an opposition can emerge victorious is because of the way the NNP govern this country. And in a world where the winds of totalitarianism that's growing in the world are blowing, and where democratic norms are being systematically undermined, we should not take what we have done in the period where we had absolute power in the parliament. We must not take it for granted. I am personally satisfied that under our tenure, we haven't done a lot to promote the institution of democratic activity. Despite disingenuous comments by some of the naysayers. For them now I say, the proof of pudding is in the eating. But I hope you don't eat too much. As the most experienced politician returning to the parliament, and I hold the title of Father of the House of Representatives. Might they call Grandpa, but I embrace my role in this new phase. My role in this position in the immediate period is twofold. First and foremost, it is to articulate the views and to promote the aspirations of our people, especially the almost 30,000 people that voted for the new National Party. But I add, it must be also for the entire nation. And I repeat, Grenada, Carriacou, and P.T. Martin. We stand here today, or sitting today, to present our own ideas for national development. And we shall give support to any program, policies, and laws that come before the chamber that will seek to defend and empower the people of this beautiful country of ours. We are under no illusions whatsoever that on many occasions we will have to provide different perspectives to the developmental challenges and choices. A case in point is the intention already announced while it was not in the manifesto of the present government, that intend already to provide a strategic partner for the sale of Grenada, our national security asset. We shall represent those whose voice might be drowned out in the noise of the political marketplace. We shall stand up against any attempt at marginalization of anyone in this beautiful country of ours. We will not tolerate the marginalization of the office of the Commissioner of Police and the attempt for everyone to give an instruction to top officers of the police force for their own intentions. We will not tolerate this. We will not tolerate for people walking into the cabinet office of the country as party boys. This is not the norm of this country. And we will not tolerate it. Our voices, that 5 voices and my voice, will be heard strong. I will end my political career standing strong for the things that I believe in and that of the new National Party. We will fight. We will fight to protect the poor and vulnerable. We will fight for all. All the poor and vulnerable deserve a special consideration of government. So in the selling of any assets, we will not want to hear that the profit of the shareholders is our interest. We want to hear the needs of the working people of this country must be given priority. We shall stand for the good name of this country, in defense of truth and proper representation, and in the promotion of matters of governance and fiscal discipline. Find a lot of money. Don't play with it. Use it in the interests of the country. It's a demonstration of the management of this country that you are left with a lot of money, as you said. I love that piece of music. We find a lot of money we didn't know. I love that music. My friends, we understand the depths of experience in lawmaking, which will be on the opposition side. You hear me? We understand the depths of lawmaking and governing of this country. The experience will be on the opposition side. And we shall all use this to the benefit of this nation and for the guidance. If they so want it, we will give it. If we are comparing this to the young, inexperienced, and untested team of legislators on the other side of the House of Representatives, which, having made that point, leads me to another point and my other role. I mentioned the first. I see my role in the House, and father of this House, and leader of the opposition, largely so, a seat as a mentor and a guide. And first and foremost, to our members. But there is no doubt that we are entering a transitional phase in the politics of this nation. There's no doubt about that. I did speak to that in the campaign of my period of service and when it will end. I did not expect it would end in opposition, but that's life. You don't complain about life's story. The big man decides for us destiny. And you have to come, we all have to come to terms with destiny. It's not what we like or we don't like. And so, I will be here to provide mentorship and guidance. If you all will permit me, I also want to make a special point. Because while it delves into the realm of party politics, it also speaks to the quality of representation which we will provide in the Honorable House. And so, I am being unorthodox, in a sense, in making this point on this occasion. So, excuse me if you don't find it fits. I deserve the right at this stage of my career to say things that come from my belly. And if you don't like it, excuse it and pray for me. But at this stage of my representation and my career, I hope that you will give me the leeway just for this time. The opposition in Parliament, and by extension the new National Party, under whose banner we are going into this House, must, and I repeat, must remain united. United and strong. It's not about ourselves, individually or otherwise. We all should see our priority as defending, supporting, and strengthening our party. We shall stay vigilant and sharp, because there are tens of thousands of people who are counting on us, colleagues, tens of thousands of people. It's not about me and you. It's about the people that we have served who have got us where we are today. There are and will continue to be attempts to spread division in the NNP. Why not? If we play gullible and we give the opposition party the opportunity to spread division, then we don't blame them, blame ourselves. And they will do so to undermine the things that we represent through rumor and innuendos. Be aware of this, colleagues. I suggest that all of us do some introspection. Stop accusing every one of us that we vote the other side. This rumor, this attack on one another because of what happened, and it's affecting us. Stop attacking each other. When a man goes behind that blind, you don't know where he has voted. Leave him alone. Leave her alone. Let us move forward as one united team to save this country. We have to remain united to the cause of national development, forgoing egos and any personal preferences for the general good of this party and this country. We accept that to whom much is given, much is expected. Our initial efforts shall be spent in Parliament advocating and protecting the programs that we have put in place, which were bent on helping the ordinary folks of this country to cope with particularly these trying economic times with prices going up. You heard Biden is balling every day. And if Biden is balling in the great United States, who have all the powers to control things, and we are just victims, they are indeed balling, and we have to empathize. One initial effort must be spent in pushing back against any reckless spending that will undermine the very economic fabric of our society. In spite of all the challenges, and even by its own acknowledgement, this new government has said that it inherited a stable fiscal situation. I love those words. It has inherited many key programs that are about to get started, and hundreds of housing units ready for distribution to the people. It has inherited a fiscal situation that will allow it to pay its bills now and meet its immediate commitments, including that we promised during the campaign to make the first payments on the pension before the end of the year. So what we're hearing is no new thing. But we make the point that the resources that are there are not meant to pay one group of people all what they have to get. The resources that are there are meant for all Grenadians, Caracunians, and Pitimakekans. So you have to divide the pot so everyone must get something. Our initial efforts as opposition in Parliament would be spent on ensuring that the prized national asset that speak to our country's national security are not auctioned away, especially in the altar of conflict of interest. In securing and building this economy, yes, we need partners from here and afar. But this must not be done at the expense of giving up our key national assets that protects the people of our country. Generations of Grenadian governance, from the days of Sir Eric Matthew Gary, and even more boldly so under Maurice Bishop, they fought to ensure that the key national assets of this country remain in the hands of the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Prize national asset, give out shares. The government doesn't have to control anything, but shares must be given out to the people of this country. They will ensure that the country's interests are protected. Under our administration, we had to fight a long and yes, expensive and bruising battle. Cost us a lot of money to ensure that the grounds lost for several years following their reigns were regained. A lot of money. A $10 million asset, EC. An asset was sold for $10 million and we had to buy it back for over 70 million US dollars. Now that they are, we must not go through a cycle of yet another ill-advised divestment. It is all well and good to channel the name of Maurice Bishop on the election campaign, but it's more important to support the fundamental philosophy of those whom we use during our campaign. Having said all of this, sisters and brothers, with no recrimination at all, because I told over and over, I am at peace with myself. Having said all of this, it is only fair to give the new administration the chance to settle down, because they're very, not yellow, they're very green. And to get accustomed to the tempo of governance. However, we will remain eternally vigilant right off the block against any speedy attempts to undermine the Grenadian economic lingo. But we take the new Prime Minister, whose name happened to be Mitchell. I did tell the Prime Minister when we spoke, I said, don't spoil the name of Mitchell. And he had a big laugh. I take him at his word that going forward with appointments within the governmental structure, he said so, will be based on merit and not merely on political considerations. We hope that those who are acting on his behalf will also be led by his words. Take one in. We are eager still to give the government the honeymoon it needs to settle down in preparation of the serious task ahead. In the meantime, we look forward to the new session of Parliament. The people have returned the 6 of us to continue doing what all in this team have become known for over the years. Robust in our representation of our people, but steadfast to the cause for fighting for the least among us. We accept this new phase with honor and dignity. And we promise the nation that we'll do our best. Maybe more, but no less. Let this nation, sisters and brothers, let this nation know that we stand for principles. We are not perfect. I have not been. I made many mistakes. But we will stand for justice for all. I look forward to working with the team and working with the government. Because if the government succeed, all are we succeed, sisters and brothers. So let this nation be comforted by the fact that we never get weary. We never get weary. Thank you all. I love every single one of you.
I want to thank Dr. Mitchell. He's well known for his ability to fire up our spirits with words. I want to now use this opportunity to express thanks, first of all, to Almighty God for giving us the ability to be here today, keeping us healthy and keeping us safe. We want to thank Your Excellency for gracing us with her presence and for functioning the task that she had to do. Our leader of Her Majesty's opposition, we thank you too, good sir, for your words, but more importantly, for letting us know that you won't get weary, but you will continue to lead the ship for thus far. To all our other members-elect, thank you for being here. Past parliamentarians, those who have graced us with their presence and participated in the program. Young Ms. Hanke for welcoming us here. Pastor Banfield for his prayer. Ms. Shelley and Duncan for leading us in the national anthem. Our technical people whom we don't see much of, but has been able to do what they know best to do, so that today's or this morning's activity went live, so many people who are not here had the opportunity to view and to listen. We thank them, members of the media, of course, and we want to thank you for waiting a little after so you can get the opportunity to ask your questions in that short press conference. To our dignified friends, brothers and sisters, members of our party, Grenadians all, we thank you very much for being here with us this morning. I would now like us all to stand and allow Your Excellency, Governor General, to take her departure, and then we allow the other dignitaries so to do, and may you have a safe trip, every one of us, back. Yes, Doc is going to remain. He will go up to this nice place, and of course the media members shall gather around and you can place your questions. Thank you all. Please enjoy the rest of today. The winners. Just before those at the front here break up, the 5 parliamentarians along with Dr. Mitchell, the media is asking for a media shot with the 6 of you. If you can come forward, step forward right here. Elected members, please. If you step forward right here with Dr. Mitchell, the media is asking for a photo.
So we want at this time to ask for the cooperation of all those who are at the back of the media team. If you can just be as quiet as possible so that they can hear the comments and he can hear the questions. Thank you. Can we have the cooperation of everyone? If you can be as quiet as possible. Thank you so much. So at this point, we want to give the opportunity to the media present to have their very first engagement with the leader of Her Majesty's opposition. Okay, so we've heard the leader of Her Majesty's opposition in his presentation, and so at this time, we want to give you that opportunity if you have any questions that you wish to ask, and he will be much obliged to respond. Okay, so we've just acknowledged the first person.
To perhaps comment on the Prime Minister's statement that he made in terms of paying the teachers their dock salary. What do you say to that?
Let me say this. My position on this was very clear. I don't think I have to repeat it. You know, if you don't work, then I don't know how I can agree to pay you. But that's the philosophy of the Prime Minister. It's different from me. So he will have to deal with that, the consequences of that. So I'm not going to impute any other motives on his part. As I said, the honeymoon is on. Give them the chance to settle down. But my position on that is well known, and I will not change it because I'm in opposition.
Thank you, sir, for your response.
Good morning, Anisha Samuel, the Grenadian Voice newspaper.
Which media?
The Grenadian Voice newspaper. Has your party had time to reevaluate and to come up with the factors that led to the defeat?
There's been some initial analysis. Don't forget, it's just 1 week. I have some views of mine, but I think a thorough analysis must be done. Which is what? Which is that, my dear, we have done in every time we have lost an election, 1990, 2008, we have done it and looked at how we go forward. This will be done again this time.
Based on one of the statements you made in your remarks, Grenada was previously privatized before your government had to repurchase. So now that you're in opposition, what's your foreseeable disadvantage if the new government seek to privatize it again?
What my disadvantage or the country's?
No, the foreseeable disadvantage, yes, to the country.
Yeah, but I made a clear statement again. My philosophy on national security asset is well known. If there has to be any sale of a national asset, as Grenlec, they will come to Parliament, as was done previously, and I will give a mouthful why it should not be done. And that will be my position at this point. I'm a bit surprised that an announcement was made immediately after an election of such a serious issue that was not even mentioned in the campaign or put in the manifesto. That is a rather strange one indeed. But as I said, I give in the government the benefit of the doubt. His namesake is Mitchell, so I don't want to do anything to hurt the name unnecessarily. So if he comes good, Mitchell will support Mitchell. If he comes on the wrong side of what is considered to be justified, he will not have the support of the other Mitchell.
Good morning, opposition.
Yes, Callistra.
Good morning, opposition leader. Callistra Farrier, the narrative, and we have been looking for you. We found you.
You know, I never understand this narrative business. You know?
I hear you watch it though, sir. Following up on the young lady from The Voice's question, do I recall wrong when if I say that you did mention that you would divest Grenlec? That it's something that you had mentioned before?
No, you know, you're right. Divest the shares to the public of Grenada. That's what I said. That's my position. In other words, this idea of just going and take one partner outside the country. In other words, let's suppose it's a strategic partner in Grenada, right? And the conditions, don't forget, you can have a sale, but the condition of the sale is as critical as the policy to divest. So the policies would have to be, the decision on how it's going to be done and the conditions on how it's going to be done has to be brought before the people. And the government would have to justify the buyer who they are choosing, the conditions under which that is happening, and all the conditions of the sale. So yes, you're not wrong. I've made the point that government has not been good at running things, business stuff. So I'm not against the philosophy of divestment, but you have to be very careful when you're dealing with a national security asset. And at the same time, something that every single citizen of the country, in the case of Grenlec, a monopoly, depend on for their own survival, economically, socially, and otherwise.
Now, Prime Minister, regarding the succession of the new National Party, that's been a conversation. You did say this was your last hurrah. You will do so in opposition, a fiery opposition, I expect. But do you think that the NNP risks going the way of the GULP, for instance, if you do not begin the succession process? I mean, you know, everything that I've heard you say, it seems like you're going to be there for a while. I quite frankly would not be surprised if in 2027.
I find the narrative simply don't understand the English language, because I know I've been making it very clear. If one chooses not to understand, I can't fault you. I have made it clear. The position I first said a while ago, the new leadership of the NNP will be chosen at the next convention. But I made the point, no one will push the party to rush unnecessary and create confusion. It must be done orderly and, of course, the best interest of the party. I will be there to offer my advice and support, but I will not attempt to dictate or impose anyone on the leadership of the NNP, because in the final analysis, the people will decide whether that party will go forward successfully or not. So the GLP situation, I don't see how we could ever be compared in any sense of what our position is. In fact, you look at me and you see me relatively looking good, right? They will say, why this man looking so nice and leaving? But I've made the decision, and it's in the best interest of the party, I believe the country, and myself, and my loved ones. P.
And you look even better since you started drinking Victoria water.
I didn't hear that.
Dr.
Oh,
Mitchell,
there's something I shouldn't hear. Okay, go ahead.
you should, but it's okay.
That's two. The others might want to have questions. I
have one more question,
yeah, okay.
sir. Let's be clear. You do not have, this is a news conference, not a party activity, please. You have no specific choice for a successor. Do you have a specific choice for a successor that you would like to see, or are you leaving it open? I understand that you have a specific choice.
I think I made it very clear. I would not impose any of my views on the party. So if I tell you I have a successor, that is imposing on the party, so I would not do that. Any views I have private would be private. That's it.
Any other?
Good morning. Donald Hoster.
From Happy Hill.
Happy Hill, Northwest constituency. My quick question to you, although you alluded to it in your speech, what would you say, what would be your advice to supporters who are very, I mean, of course, losing an election is tough.
Yes.
But what would you say to your supporters, your diehard supporters, going forward with this new government?
But what I would say is recognize the system, and I've been preaching that. When you are in the process of the parliamentary system, where elections are held every 5 years at least, for maximum, then you have to understand there would be period of celebration for winning, and there's also a period of unhappiness for losing. And the good thing is we have lost. This is the third time we've lost. So in effect, people will understand that that's a phase of the democratic process. But also they will know that if we work together and pull our resources together, the sky is the limit. The fact is, nearly 30,000 people voted for the NNP. And you've seen 11% swing to get the NDC into government. So all you need is about 4 or 5% swing in 5 years to turn the tide the other way. So I'm very confident. To my supporters and to the NNP supporters, have faith. It's tough. I have received so many calls. The only times I become emotional about the loss is when people call me and I see their pain, and it gets to me. For me personally, I'm at peace, and I feel that 22 years of head of a country, how many people in their life can say God has blessed them and the people have blessed them with 22 years as leader, and I am going to be unhappy with the voice of the people, which we say normally is the voice of God? No, I'm not going to be, but our people need to understand that is the process. It's not something you enjoy, but I think they will get over it. And I've been going around, I've done 2 meetings already, and I thought they have been motivating for me, and I hope for the supporters. Excellent meetings. The spirit was extremely much higher than it was in 2008, and much higher than it was in 1990 when we lost. Okay?
Good morning, Miriam Taufik, WFM News. When is the party's the convention officially due, and after this, will you remain as the opposition leader?
The party convention is held every year, and all posts are up every year. But that's the date of a convention is decided by the executive of the party. They will make that decision. You heard me say it will not be pushed by the agenda of me or any other single member of the new national party. It's what is best for the party will be what the party will decide. Okay?
I'm not sure, but would you be remaining as the opposition leader? I'm not too familiar with that.
No. Let me say this. If the party chooses someone as leader, in fact, that was going to be the same thing in government. If the party had chosen somebody, if we had won the election, I made it very clear. I had a period in time, I did not disclose it. And the party chose someone who was a member of parliament, I would automatically resign the prime ministership and give it to the person elected by the party. And that's the norm of the parliamentary democratic system that we, of course, observe. So if the party chooses someone who's a member of parliament, certainly I would give up the office of leader of the opposition and continue to represent the beautiful people of Northwest St. George's. But I will also make the point, if someone emerges as outside of the parliament, I may still decide, that's going to be my choice then, to give it to someone, the leadership of the opposition. That's a possibility too. So there are different permutations going forward. But as I said to you, I'm free. I feel good where I'm at, so I'll be doing what I believe is best for the party and the country. Okay? All right, guys? Okay.
I have one question.
Yes, sir, my
for
dear.
you just before
Final
you
one.
Dr.
I always like to have a lady asking the final question.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity, sir. Dr. Mitchell, not citing this defeat, you
Yeah.
spoke of leaving a legacy
Yes.
when you do plan to really
Yes.
exit. Tell me, where are we with that, and what are your plans, and what would you like to leave as your legacy now that you're in the opposition?
No, I think I've made it very clear that I think it's well known the successes of the NNP, which I assume that I would be tied to. We had failures, and that is understood. But I also make it very clear that as we go forward, my legacy would also be correlated with the leadership, the new leadership of the new National Party. In other words, if the process is transparent and open, and someone emerges who have the capacity to take the country forward, I will get some credit. That's part of my legacy. Because I've seen too many parties in the Caribbean where the leaders have been won several elections and they go up from the scene. And the party in some cases can't even field a candidate in the elections, which is sad. It happened in Dominica, it happened in Grenada with the GLP and other parts of the Caribbean. And I know the circumstances of many of our leaders, what happened to them. So part of my legacy will be this. But the successes in government will be part. And I want to tell you this. Since last year, around the middle of last year, I was writing already my memoirs. Working with a well-known author. And I've been on the Zoom regularly, also talking from when I 5-year-old, as I remember, right up to the point of the office of Prime Minister. So I am already documenting the things I believe is necessary. Too many of our people serve, and I'm not talking about politicians alone. We have had excellent public servants, and they go to the great beyond, or they retire, and they don't write a thing for the young people. The young people must know what ticked us. All of us come from poor people. Right? And we traversed that path of unfairness in our own society, unevenness, and we got up there. So what made us reach that point? What were the challenges? What were the failures? What were the successes? So the young people coming afterwards will avoid the mistakes and take some examples from the successes. All right, guys? Colleagues, thank you all. I love every single one. A member of the press, remember, I am there. All right? Thank you all and take care. Thank you.